The following program contains language, images, and/or subject matter that may be objectionable to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Direct from Albany, New York, it's time for the New Media Zone. With your hosts, Ed and Dave. Tonight, a look at this week's new film and DVD releases. And a chance to win free movie tickets with the poster pair game. And now your hosts, Ed and Dave.
Hello and welcome to the New Media Zone. Ed and Dave here, Ed and Dave with you with a special episode tonight.
Ooh.
We will be looking back at the history of actors portraying other races in film history.
Oh, very controversial, Ed.
It's a controversial thing,
It's a
but
very sensitive topic.
it's a sensitive topic, but must be told.
It must be
On the
told
show.
from the perspective of two imbeciles.
Right. Now, we've mentioned this before on the show, mainly that, what was the name of that? Soul Man.
Oh, yes.
And when I happened to watch Breakfast at Tiffany's, where I said, well, this is on, I should watch it. It's kind of a classic film.
Yeah.
I don't remember, before that, seeing the Mickey Rooney
Right.
scene. And I was shocked that this was, it was such a, I guess the character was in the book, but not as such stereotypical caricature.
Yes.
But we will cover all of this tonight, going back. And this was brought up because of the, just came out now that there was a film Robert Downey Jr. was in that was not released. It was directed, who was the director?
Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
It's All-Star Weekend. I guess he just, because Robert Downey Jr. is playing like a Mexican character.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And he wanted him to do it because he said, "Oh, you did such a great job with the that Tropic of Thunder."
where he played
Tropic.
an African American.
Yeah. Now, was he an actual African American, or was it a character?
I never saw it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
I want to say he wasn't an African American. He was a white actor whose character he played this.
Okay.
I want to say that's what it is, but we'll see. It might be in here as we go along. Let's start back
Well,
at the very beginning.
I do want to preface this.
Okay.
But let's just understand something at the beginning. Actors are acting.
Mm-hmm.
They're not their real self. So there are some extremes here that people go to complain about this person portraying this. I think Scarlett, was it? No, it wasn't Scarlett Johansson. Who's the other one?
Angelina Jolie.
No, Ghost in the Shell. Was it Scarlett Johansson?
Yes.
Was supposed to be like an Asian character?
Yeah.
And they got all up in arms over that. But she wasn't portraying an Asian character. They
No.
changed the character.
Right. Same thing with
Emma Stone?
Doctor Strange. They changed.
Oh.
It was
Well, Emma Stone was playing like a...
Yes, I believe that's in here.
But recently, John Leguizamo made a comment. He was very irate and upset because they picked James Franco to portray Fidel Castro. Now, aside from the fact that James Franco looks freakishly like Fidel Castro, the problem is Leguizamo doesn't like that because they're taking these characters away from the Latins, I guess. I don't know what term he used. But let's understand that Leguizamo, I believe, is Colombian.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I don't know what he is. But he's played other ethnicities. I'm not sure if he's Colombian or not. But Leguizamo has... I may even have it listed here. He is Colombian. He's played an Italian.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Colombian. I think he's played someone who is French. He's not.
Played
So-
a clown in the Spawn.
Is he a real clown, Ed? In real
No.
life? No. But anyway, there's a fine line. Is basically the point I'm making is between what upsets people, what is things like blackface, very offensive nowadays. But it wasn't back then, and that's part of what we're getting into here.
Mm-hmm.
That to ascribe today's norms and beliefs to what happened 100 years ago, not realistic. People have a hard time saying, what were they thinking? How could they do such a thing? Well, we think a lot differently now than we did back then. It's just the facts. And if you can wrap your head around that, then you're good to go. If you can't, you got a little bit of a problem. But let's discuss some of these.
Okay, we're going back to the very beginning.
Oh, you're going back to what? The birth of films?
And The Birth of a Nation.
Ooh, what happened there?
Was the first. Well, you have that one. I think we're going to go back, not back and forth by film, but back and forth by page here. So
Okay.
You're going to read the first page.
All right. Well, Birth of a Nation, 1915. The first movie ever screened inside the White House. Featured multiple white actors in blackface. One of them, Walter Long, was listed in the credits as Renegade Negro.
Yeah, I had to watch this one in Dr. Lenning's silent film class.
Isn't it considered like a classic film?
It is, but, these problem, and the KKK was in there. There's a problem. I don't even think they run this one on TCM
No,
anymore. They run Gone with the Wind with a disclaimer now.
Yeah, that's a little problematic. Here's one from 1919. Broken Blossoms. Richard, I don't even know how to say his name. Bartholomew? He's a white actor, played Cheng Huan. Not a great sign that the alternate title of the movie was The Yellow Man and the Girl.
Another classic I was forced to watch in the Dr. Lenning class. Yes, I do remember this. Of course, at this time, not a lot of Asian actors, for one thing.
Right.
That's a problem, and,
But I wonder if that was the same for African Americans back then, if there just wasn't the willingness to hire them.
Well, I think later on you couldn't, especially when there was interracial scenes, like in the 50s, they had to cast a white actress.
See, now, The Yellow Man and the Girl reminds me of Peter Sellers playing Clouseau when he would talk about Keto and his little yellow skin. Oh, you can't say that now.
I noticed in where I was getting a lot of information from, comedies weren't mentioned here. And we'll try to fill in as we go along. There were a lot of comedies, and I think like Three Stooges and things, where there were some ethnic characters.
And that was generally around World War II.
Yes.
And they were making fun of Hitler and Japan. 1921, The Sheik. White actor Rudolph Valentino playing a sheik, an Arab character named Ahmed Ben Hassan. Thief of Baghdad, 1924. Douglas Fairbanks, white actor, played an Aladdin-like character who was supposedly from Baghdad. Julianne Johnston, a white actress, played a smitten Baghdadi princess.
Yeah, at that time, it was hard. There weren't a lot of Baghdadi actors over here, too.
I think this is this is basically availability and willingness to hire any. 1927, jazz singer Al Jolson played the lead role in blackface. Black audiences weren't necessarily opposed to the portrayal, which they saw as potentially paving the way for actual black actors and performers to take lead roles in future films. Yeah, I don't think they're going to think that now.
Yeah, we also forgot, I'm thinking in the silent times, even though I think Lon Chaney played a lot of ethnic characters and Asians.
Oh, something that does, I can't think of them, but I believe that is...
Of course, he played, monsters and all. He played everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't as much of a deal then. We have Charlie Chan Carries On, 1931. Warner Oland. Is it Oland?
It is Oland.
Okay. I thought it was Oakland for some reason. No. A white actor played the Chinese character for the first of 7 times. He wore the same goofy mustache every time.
Now, I don't know if you have other ones listed in there regarding...
I don't have the other titles
Charlie Chan,
here.
but you've got... Now, Warner Oland was Swedish. Sidney Toller also played Charlie Chan. He was American. Roland Winters also played Charlie Chan, and he was American. Now, do you have Peter Lorre?
I don't have that here.
Well, similar, he played Mr. Moto.
Mr. Moto.
Peter Lorre was Hungarian. He was not Japanese.
I want to say Boris Karloff played some sort of Asian character.
I think he
along the
did
way.
at some point, yeah.
Swing Time, Fred Astaire appeared in blackface.
Oh, I did not know that.
In a musical number that most people read as a tribute to rather than a mockery of black tap dancer Bill Robinson.
Okay.
This is one they show on TCM. They have a little in between the films show on blackface, and it is surprising all the like Fred Astaire and other characters. I think Judy Garland even popped up in there as we go through the history of the blackface. The Good Earth. Every lead
Paul Muni.
every lead actor in this movie, based on a novel about a family of Chinese farmers, was white.
Again, I hate to interject, but there's a movie from 1932 called The Hatchet Man. I could list all that. There's a bunch of them, but only one person in the main cast was actually Chinese. You had Edward G. Robinson play Wong Lo Get, Loretta Young, Sun Toya San, Dudley Diggs, Leslie Fenton, Edmund Breeze, Tully Marshall, J. Carroll Naish, Charles Middleton, Edward Peel, all playing Chinese characters. The only one who was Chinese was, I don't even know, maybe he's Japanese. Otto Yamaoka played Chung Ho. Huh. But all these characters, all these actors, were not Chinese.
Well, you couldn't get that many then, for one thing. I don't think there's a lot of Chinese or Japanese actors around at the time. Not that many. Okay, here's Everybody Sing. Judy Garland's character in this musical wasn't black, but she attempted to join a musical troupe by auditioning in blackface.
Okay.
Dragon Seed, 1944. Katharine Hepburn wore prosthetic eyelids to play Chinese heroine Jade Tan. Hepburn is the most famous white actor in the cast, but certainly not the only one. Only children and extras were played by Chinese actors. Anna and the King of Siam. Rex Harrison, a white British actor, played King Moncut. And Fiesta, usually blonde actress Esther Williams, played Maria Morales, a Mexican woman who dreams of being a bullfighter.
All right. I think we're seeing a little bit of a pattern here.
There's a pattern that was
back.
going...
I mean, way back is where. I mean, these things really didn't change until what would you say? How many years ago?
I want to say not even the 80s when that Soul Man came out.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's been fairly recent. This has been going on forever. All right, so King of Kings, 1961. Jeffrey Hunter, white actor, played Jesus. This was a film populated almost entirely by white people playing Middle Eastern characters. Majority of One, 1961. Alec Guinness, a white British actor, as all of you Star Wars geeks would know. Played Japanese businessman Kyoki Asano. The Outsider, 1961. Tony Curtis, a white actor of Hungarian descent, played Ira Hamilton Hayes, a Native American soldier, creatively nicknamed Chief.
That was a lot in, of course, the Westerns.
Oh, yes.
At the time, a lot of Italians playing Indian, or Native Americans.
I got to mention a Western where Jeff Chandler, a long-forgotten actor, who died very young, by the way, in Broken Arrow, a 1950 movie, he played Cochise. Chandler was Jewish, but he got nominated for an Academy Award for that.
Yeah, there was acting,
That's acting.
Yeah, that is acting, yes.
Lawrence of Arabia, a repeat offender, Alec Guinness, played the Arab Prince Faisal, whatever. Cleopatra, Elizabeth Taylor, playing Egyptian pharaoh. The Face of Fu Manchu. Oh, I did not know. Christopher Lee, an evil Chinese mastermind with extravagant facial hair and suspiciously narrowed eyes. Will this come back later on to Fu Manchu to haunt us with another actor?
Yes, it will, in 1980.
The Greatest Story Ever Told. Max von Sydow plays Jesus. Now, I think, what is he? He might be Swedish, Max von Sydow. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Othello. Laurence Olivier played the title character in blackface. So outrageous, New York Times critic Bosley Crowther was forced to use an exclamation point in his indignant review of the movie. All right. Well, Olivier was big into Shakespeare. He built his career on many Shakespeare plays and films. Stay Away Joe. Elvis Presley played Joe Lightcloud, a Native American. I did not know that. Native American character. Wow.
Okay, that was your number 5, so do 3 next.
Oh, what happened? Oh, there you didn't give them to me in order.
I guess not. We're in order now, though.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just the years
Okay.
that are moving around here. The Teahouse of the August Moon, 1956. Marlon Brando played a Japanese man named Sakini.
No.
And this is one of the most famous.
Oh, God, this one is unbelievable.
The Conqueror. John Wayne played Genghis Khan here.
John Wayne.
With the same voice, right? He didn't attempt to do anything with his voice.
I don't think he can do another voice. He's come up under fire recently in the past year or two for his racist comments and I mean, come on. I think we could pick a fight with someone who's alive.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
The 10 Commandments. This must have been filled with some, but of course Charlton Heston and Russian-born actor Yul Brynner, both whites, played a Hebrew hero and Egyptian pharaoh. And not to mention Edward G. Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Playing whatever.
Now.
The King and I, Yul Brynner. Didn't you have Yul Brynner?
No, I didn't.
No, you haven't had it?
I had Cleopatra.
In a busy year for Yul Brynner, in addition to playing Ramses, he took a turn as the King Moncut of Siam. Remember, we had the same character before. Touch of Evil. Charlton Heston played a Mexican character in degrees of brown face that varied noticeably throughout the movie. Imitation of Life. Susan Connor, a mixed-race actress, won 2 Golden Globes for her portrayal of Sarah Jane, a mixed-race young woman. So far, so good. But Connor's mother was Mexican and her father was Czech. Sarah Jane was supposedly half black and passing for white. And the most, another famous one, Natalie Wood, playing the Puerto Rican Maria. And I didn't, as kids watching that, so we didn't pay any attention. But you notice now that all of the Puerto Ricans are in various tones of brown face.
Yes.
Now. And here's another one of the most famous, Breakfast at Tiffany's, which we mentioned, 1961. If you can think of an offensive stereotype related to Japanese people, Mickey Rooney probably employed it in his portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi. Yellow face, check. Buck teeth, got that. Outrageous accent, yep. Rooney defended the part for years, but ultimately made a sort of apology.
I had mentioned before we did the show that...
You said you just saw this clip.
I didn't see the clip, but what I saw was a review of it from 1961. I don't know who did the review, but even then, the reviewer said, and he didn't even use it. It didn't use such strong language, but he said some people may find Mickey Rooney's over-the-top caricature offensive. Of course, now you can't make that film, or you can't have that character, so the point is moot. But if that was to come out today, I think the tone of the review might be a little harsher.
Another thing you have to remember, too, is this is not that many years after 1945, where even Popeye, there was a film, Zap That Jap, which we were watching at home before we were going to school, up until the early 70s, before they finally pulled that one out, with the very stereotypical looking. So this was, 1960, 15 years where we were, putting people down, but we were at war.
Which we still do.
We were at war at the time, so this was perfectly acceptable, apparently, for Popeye and other characters to do this.
All right. 1949, Lost Boundaries. Mel Ferrer, who's the son of a Cuban father and American mother, played a light-skinned black doctor who passed as white in an effort to secure a job. Winchester 73, 1950, Rock Hudson, a white actor of German, Swedish, English, and Irish descent, played a Native American character named Young Bull, who delivered the memorable line, "All white men are thieves."
Of course, later we found out he was playing a straight Native American also.
Yeah. Ultimately, a big, Showboat, 1951. Ava Gardner played a mixed-race character who was passing as white, making her marriage to a white man both dangerous and illegal. Lena Horne, an actress who's actually mixed race, was considered for the part, but rejected due to discomfort over interracial love scenes.
Yeah, that was a problem where they might want to hire them at that time, but they still couldn't because it wouldn't play well in the South,
Yes.
they would say.
Othello, 1952. One of literature's most famous black characters, is also one of the most commonly portrayed in blackface. But Orson Welles, who played the title character in this adaptation of the classic play, had the sense to skip the blackface in favor of mild bronzing. And 1954, Apache, Burt Lancaster, Indian. Love is a Many Splendored Thing, 1955. Dr. Han Suen, the mixed-race doctor from China who falls for an American in Hong Kong in the movie, asserts, "I'm Eurasian," throughout the film. But the actress who played Suen, Jennifer Jones, was neither European or Asian. She was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma to American parents, and a stunningly beautiful woman.
Who was that, Ava Gardner?
No, Jennifer Jones.
Oh, Jennifer Jones. She was in the Towering Inferno. I was mixing her up with the one that was in the Earthquake.
Oh, gotcha.
Let's see. Okay, we're back in track
Yes,
here.
I guess
The Party, which was on TCM the other night, which I saw a little bit of. Peter Sellers, we usually associate him with Asian characters, but here he was playing an Indian man named Harundu Bakshi in brownface.
Peter Sellers is a multi-offender.
Right.
But again, a product of his time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are we offended that he played a French guy in, Clouseau?
Yeah.
American. Many characters in, what was it, Dr. Strangelove?
Yes.
It's just the product of what they were doing back then.
Of course, it wasn't in here, but Murder by Death wasn't mentioned in here.
Murder by Death.
He's playing, what was it, a Charlie Chan type of character.
Yeah, what was it, Sidney Wang?
Sidney Wang, yes.
And he also did Fu Manchu.
And he did his last film, Fu Manchu, which also was on.
Fu Manchu.
That was on. They were doing Peter Sellers Day on TCM, so all of these were in there. The Wind and the Lion. Sean Connery played a character who is loosely based on the real life Moulay Ahmed, a sort of Moroccan Robin Hood. And then we jump ahead to 82 with The Year of Living Dangerously. Linda Hunt, a white actress, played a male Chinese-Australian dwarf. We're not quite sure on the cast.
She's not even... There's nothing about that's even close to reality.
Passage to India. Alec Guinness, again, played the Indian scholar. Boy, some of these names I can't even say. Indian scholar. Remo Williams.
There you go.
The adventure begins and ended in 85 with Joel Grey, a white guy from Cleveland, playing Chaeyoon, a Korean martial arts master. And Alan Quatermain in The Lost City of Gold. Robert Donner, a white actor, played Shawarma, a vaguely Asian guru who's always causing problems.
Was Robert? He wasn't in Mork and Mindy, Robert Donner.
Yes,
no.
Yep, that's him. And Short Circuit, which we mentioned, white actor Fisher Stevens played Indian engineer Ben Jabutu. I remember that being quite humorous and all his odd sayings and things. And, he was a likable character, an Indian guy. I think even that Aziz Ashura was surprised when he found out that this was not an Indian because he looked up to the character. Last Temptation of Christ. We got a biblical epic here, so we've got a white dude. It's William Dafoe this time playing Jesus. And Not Without My Daughter. British-American actor Alfred Molina, the Doc Ock character. He was playing an abusive Iranian character.
All right. Carlito's Way, Al Pacino.
Okay.
Lisping Puerto Rican Carlito, and also
I'm surprised
Scarface.
didn't mention Scarface in there.
Father of the Bride Part 2.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Eugene Levy, I remember that. Played Mr. Habib, an Arab character. Mask of Zorro. Anthony Hopkins played Spanish hero Zorro. Big Daddy. Rob Schneider. First of all, no talent. Rob Schneider.
No talent?
No talent. A white actor with a penchant for unfortunate roles in Adam Sandler movies. He tackled the role of the Middle Eastern delivery guy. Didn't he also? I think he also has played like a Chinese character.
Yes, and I was surprised to learn that he was part Asian of some sort. So maybe you could give him a pass on those.
He is. I'm not sure. I think it's his mother. The Human Stain. Anthony Hopkins played Coleman Silk, a black professor who passes as white. Okay. Passion of the Christ, Jim Caviezel played Jesus. Memoirs of a Geisha. All right. The issue with this one is that Michelle Yeoh and Zhang Zhui are both Chinese playing Japanese characters. A Mighty Heart, Angelina Jolie played Marianne Pearl, the wife of kidnapped journalist Daniel Pearl. Pearl is French-born. And
a woman of Afro-Cuban descent, Jolie appeared to darken her skin and alter her hair for the role.
Well, you know what? Come on. Altering hair?
Yeah.
Actors do this all the time. I'm going to shave my head for this part, for the character. Didn't Jeff Bridges do it for Iron Man?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to grow a beard. I'm going to shave off my beard. I mean, they do it all the time. Don't talk about hair.
Sean Connery would pick the piece that was appropriate to the role.
That's right.
Okay, we're winding down.
Oh, here we
now.
go. This is what I was referring to.
Yeah, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Rob Schneider appeared as Asian minister at the end. I think he married them.
Yes.
Love Guru, well, Mike Myers, playing an Indian character with just the facial hair, though, no brown face. Prince of Persia. Jake Gyllenhaal played the Prince of Persia. Of course, he's...
You know, I never saw that movie. Even I questioned that one.
Yeah. That was 2010. That was time to start questioning some of these things.
Even I said, oh, that's an odd choice.
I'm going to just skim through some. Oh, well, Lone Ranger 2013. Johnny Depp played a Native American sidekick Tonto.
Yeah.
But don't worry, though. He was adopted into the Comanche Nation the year before. So I guess he was covered there.
So he's honorary.
In Star Trek Into Darkness, Benedict Cumberbatch played Khan, a villain of Indian descent. Well, we also questioned the TV show where Ricardo Montalban played Khan also. Let's see. Do you have any more?
I don't have any more that I know of.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, good. Okay.
I mean, I did have like my initial list, but we mentioned most of them.
Well, 1915 Pan, Rooney Mara played the Native American princess Tiger Lily, to everyone's chagrin.
Yeah, I mean, most of mine were that I initially contacted you about were just more of the outlandish. Oh, you might want to hit that clock. Were more of the outlandish kind, like Anita Ekberg, who's Swedish, played a Chinese character in a movie Blood Alley. Jerry Lewis and Hardly Working.
Oh no,
man. C. Thomas Howell, Soul Man. Sean and Marlon Wayans playing white chicks.
Yeah.
2004. Two black FBI agents go undercover as white females. So I was going for more of the really crazy, especially back in the 50s and the 30s with Chinese actors and actresses not being, it initially hit me that when I saw a story about, John Wayne playing Genghis Khan, and I remember, oh my God, I think I've seen that movie. That's a bizarre casting choice.
Yeah, there's something like that hardly working. It's different than when someone's being cast in a serious thing. Yeah. And the guy, Jerry Lewis, in 1980 is obviously doing a caricature. Right. Not only in the film, but on the poster, which we're looking at right here, which I found in the back room. But even later in the 80s, we were amazed with that Soul Man.
Yeah.
That was questionable. So, we'll be back next time
with comedy. We're not going to tackle such serious, dramatic issues ever again.
Yeah, sometimes we do serious subject matter. we thought this was the time to do this show. We will see you next time.
The New Media Zone has been a Cable 2000 production.